Welcome to Alan Berry Reports TV. I'm your host, Alan Berry Laboucan from AlanBerryReports.com. Today we have a new installment of our In the News show. This is the program where we talk about resource companies with high quality projects and talk about some of their recent news and developments. And on today's show we have three companies to talk about. One of those companies is a diamond company, the other is a copper company, and one is a gold company that was recently taken over by a major mining company. And we'll open the show with some comments about some trends that we're seeing for some of the key assets and markets that we follow. Before getting started, we always like to begin with our some thank you messages to those that are important in us being able to do this show. We use YouTube.com as our primary website to broadcast and produce these shows so you can watch them at your leisure. They have a great website for anybody that's interested in doing online shows, and we highly recommend them. Also, if you're watching the show on our website at AlanBerryReports.com, you'll notice to the left and right of me that we have banner sponsors. Those banner sponsors are really important in us being able to do these shows for you, bring them to you, and their banners are directly linked to the company's websites. Their websites are full of information for you to do your homework on the projects they're involved with, the people involved, the work that they're doing, the news that they've made. Really great resource to do your homework is on their websites, and again, the banners are directly linked to the company's websites. And of course, to you, the viewers, you give us an audience to talk to about commodities, resource stocks, and other markets that we follow, and we really appreciate you tuning in to watch. So thank you. And so now we're going to, in today's opening commentary, I want to talk about some trends, and I kind of broke things up into two areas. We're going to talk about some bearish trends, and then we're going to talk about some bullish trends. And so we'll start out with the bearish trends. And first of all, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 seem to be sort of priced for perfection right now. What is a little concerning is that the top line looks to be kind of soft, and the bottom line earnings have benefited from cost cutting and restocking, but we would prefer to see that the stronger top line was what was more beneficial to the bottom line. So we think that the Dow Jones Industrial Average and S&P 500 are in sort of a sideways trading pattern. Right now, it looks like they're on the top end of that trading pattern, and that there's a correction coming. We had one a little while ago. It was a fairly mild correction. We think that it's going to bounce up and down between in this sideways trend. So right now, it's trading at the top end of the trend. We think that it's got a chance to go towards the bottom end of the trend in the short term. Also on the bearish trends, the U.S. government debt is way overvalued. It's showing signs of weakness recently since about the latter part of 2010. We think that it's headed towards a significant correction that will bring the interest rates up on the debt. This correction that we're looking for, we've been wrong on it for quite a while, and we've been looking for it for a year and a half, 2 years, although started to go in our direction towards the latter part of 2010 and early into 2011. But we think that unless if the Fed ends propping up the market like they have been with the QE2 and other efforts that they've made since the economic calamity of 2008, if they get out of the market, they are the market. And so we think that the demand is suspect from other than the Fed, and there's abundant supply. So these are key reasons that we think that there's a correction coming for U.S. government debt that will drive the yields upwards and the prices down. And so we're looking for that to happen in the near term. On the oil, oil has rallied quite aggressively of late due to some of the economic turmoil in the Middle East, and that seems to be subsiding somewhat. And we have fundamentally we're bullish on oil. We just think that it's trading above the fundamentals right now, and we're looking for a correction that would pull it back to around the $80 to $90 US per barrel range, and that's on the WTI price. And we think that correction has already started. We think that it topped out recently. It's had somewhat of a pullback. Sometimes when you get these bearish trends, you're going to, just like a bullish trend, you'll get pullbacks during a bullish trend, and on a bearish trend you can get rallies inside that trend, which is what it looks like is happening today. But in the last couple days, it started to come off that top. So we think it's in the correction phase now and headed towards that $80 to $90 range in the near term. The U.S. dollar has fundamental issues, runaway deficits and debt. There's abundant supply. They're pumping money out there pretty aggressively. Suspect demand. We think it's basically been in a fairly long-term bearish market that has had some substantial relief rallies, but we think that the downward trend is resuming. We think that the U.S. dollar is a good short against the Canadian dollar and the euro. We think both the Canadian dollar and the euro will outperform. So now we'll move into some bullish trends. Gold has been on a decade-long bull market. We think that bull market has plenty of legs based on supply and demand. Demand is relatively weak. Supply is relatively weak. Demand is very strong, and we think that trend is going to continue. We were looking for some profit taking after it made some record prices, which we saw in the last few days, and that pullback was very mild, over quickly, and now it's on an uptrend. We think that trend, this next rally, will take it up towards the $1,500 per ounce range. On silver's just been on a very strong bullish trend for getting close to over 9 months now, and we think that it's got a lot further to go. It's one of those trading patterns where we see very mild pullbacks and strong rallies. We expect to see more of that. Copper looks primed to head towards $5 or over $5 in the second half of 2011. Uranium is in a solid trend. Uranium stocks are oversold and a good place to look for bargains. Diamonds are in a very bullish trend based on very weak supply and strong demand. The new sort of demand is coming from China and India, which are having a very big effect on the price of rough and polished diamonds. And we think that with that enhanced demand from China and India, combined with the demand from the developed economies, is very bullish for diamonds mainly because of the weakness in supply. And resource stocks we think that they've been underperforming the moves in the commodities, and so we think that they're primed to play catch up to the bullish moves in commodity prices, and it looks like buying the dips and selling the big moves is the best course of action to get out performance. So that's a wrap on the trends. We're now going to move into the first company we're going to talk about. The first company we're going to talk about today is Peregrine Diamonds Limited. On the disclosure, we are shareholders of the company. The past coverage in our Allen Berry report on commodities and resource stocks, they are a featured company. We started coverage of them on December the 18th, 2008, which was our 21st edition. The first show we had them on was on our May 19th, 2010 show. If you want to find our past reports, just look above me on the website and you'll find our reports section. In there we have all the past reports, including that 21st edition, where you can either download it or read it online. And above me also is the shows section. In there we have a directory with all the past shows, including that May 19th show of 2010. And we include the dates, an overview of the show, and what companies were talked about, and a link to go watch the past shows. So if you're interested in watching any of the past shows we talked about Peregrine Diamonds on, that's a good place to look. Their website is pdiam.com, we've talked about them on several of our past shows, and the most recent show was our March 9th, 2011 show. And since then, they had a news release out on March the 28th that we wanted to talk about. So I'm just on their website now. Again, that's pdiam.com. The March 28th the headline from that press release is Chidliak Joint Venture approves $17.7 million 2011 diamond exploration program. They go on that they're pleased to announce that the Chidliak Joint Venture, which is Peregrine 49% and BHP Billiton 51%, has approved a $17.7 million 2011 exploration program on the 8,500 square kilometer Chidliak project on Baffin Island, Nunavut. Since Canada. Since 2008, 50 kimberlites have been discovered on the project, with 7 of these having characteristics consistent with economic potential in Arctic settings. Peregrine is the operator of the 2011 program, and fieldwork has commenced. They go on that the 2011 program has 2 primary objectives. The one is to continue exploration focused on discovering large kimberlites using new targeting information developed from the 2010 discovery of the CH31 and CH33 kimberlites. CH31 is drill confirmed at greater than 5 hectares in surface area, and new geophysical interpretations for CH33 indicate potential for a elongated body with surface area greater than 7 hectares. And then the second objective is further evaluation of known kimberlites with economic potential for core drilling and or mini bulk sampling. They go on that the 2011 program is expected to set the stage for the collection of bulk samples in 2012 to obtain initial parcels of diamonds sufficient to estimate the diamond value of the most promising kimberlites. There's a couple quotes in here that sort of give you a good overview of the project, of what's going on. The first one is from Tom Peregudoff, who's the Vice President of Exploration at BHP Billiton, who said, and I quote, "BHP Billiton is encouraged by the initial results from the Chidliak project. With our partner Peregrine Diamonds, we have made good progress since the first kimberlite discovery in 2008, and we look forward to a successful 2011 campaign," end quote. Then there's a quote from Mr. Brooke Clements, who's the president of Peregrine Diamonds, and he stated, and I quote, "We are confident that the $17.7 million 2011 exploration program will allow us to advance the Chidliak project substantially this year, building on our very successful 2010 program, during which 34 kimberlites were discovered. There is real potential to discover additional large kimberlites which, if found to have coarse diamond size distributions, would add significant value to the project," end quote. Then they have some more details about the exploration activity that they'll undertake in 2011. Gives you a really good idea of what the scope of their exploration efforts are going to be, and that can all be found on their March 28th press release. So some of the reasons that we like Peregrine Diamonds is their Chidliak first of all, they've got a really strong management team and exploration team. They're well funded. They got a great partner in BHP Billiton, one of the world's largest mining companies, and BHP Billiton also has a lot of experience in diamonds. And the key project is their Chidliak project in Baffin Island. This project is the most impressive exploration success since the early days of diamond exploration here in Canada. Seeing some very good signs based on the number of kimberlites that they've found, the quality of the diamonds, or the distribution of the diamonds in the discoveries, especially the key discoveries that they've made. They've got a very large land package with plenty of targets. Sometimes these kimberlite fields can exceed, first of all, kimberlites are always found in clusters, and some of these clusters can exceed 100 kimberlites in a field. They've got a massively large land package, and they definitely are in that category of being able to have the potential for one of those very large field kimberlite clusters. And so they're really hitting on all cylinders. They're planning a very strong exploration program this summer. They had a really good success for the last few years, especially last year, 2010. They found a bunch of new kimberlites. So we're really looking forward to their work. They should have a lot of news out, so we'll be talking about them lots in the future. So that's a wrap on our chat regarding Peregrine. A great place to do your homework on them is on their website at pdiam.com. You can find plenty of information there. So the second company we're going to talk about today is Capstone Mining Corp. On the disclosure, we're not shareholders. Our past coverage includes they are a featured company in the Alan Berry Reports email newsletter. We started coverage of them on March the 31st, 2009, which was our 23rd edition. We've had them on several of our past shows. We started the show coverage on our shows on the August the 25th, 2010 show. Again, if you want to find that past reports, just look above me on the website at the reports section. All the past reports are in there, including that 23rd edition. Want to find the past shows that we've talked about them, just look in our shows section above me. All the past shows are in there, including the August 25th, 2010 show, and any shows we've talked about them since then. This is another company that we've talked about on several past shows. The most recent coverage was on our January 21st, 2011 show. Since then, they've had several press releases out. I'm just going to pull up their website now, and they've got a news section. In the news section, you go to the 2011 is where we're looking. We're going to start with the January 26th press release. In that one, Capstone, the headline is Capstone reports production results for Q4 and full year 2010. They mentioned that they announced the operating results for the 3 and 12 months ending December 31st, 2010 from its two operating mines, the Cozamin and Minto mines. Combined production totaled 18.9 million and 76.0 million pounds of copper and concentrates in the 3 and 12 month periods, respectively, with additional significant byproducts of lead, zinc, silver, and gold. At December 31st, Capstone had a cash balance of $192 million. That's American dollars, in American dollars, including a significant increase primarily attributable to the cash generated from sales at higher metal prices, as well as the sale of some investments. As press released on December 17, 2010, Capstone reiterates its 2011 guidance of 80 to 85 million pounds of copper and concentrate. Then they've got all the key details from those reporting periods for the full 3 months and 12 months, and Again, you can find that on the company's press website. The next press release we wanted to talk about was on February 24th. In that one, the headline is Capstone Reports 2011 Pre-Feasibility Study for the Cucho Copper Zinc Project in British Columbia. One of the sub-headlines is IRR, Internal Rate of Return of 27%, net project value $155 million at a 10% discount rate, and a 3.4-year payback after tax. They went on and they announced their wholly owned subsidiary Cucho Copper Corp reports the results of a pre-feasibility study completed by JDS Energy and Mining on the company's Cucho project in northwestern British Columbia. By incorporating exploration drill results from 2010 and 2010, or from 2008 and 2010, the 2011 PFS successfully converted much of the main deposit and the Esso deposit mineral resources into a National Instrument 43101 reserve. The 2011 PFS exhibits a 27% IRR after tax and a $155 million NPV after tax at a 10% discount rate. Therefore, Capstone is proceeding with permitting and further engaging stakeholders in consultation regarding development. So some really good developments there on their Cucho project. The next press release we're going to talk about is on March the 7th. We're really working through these. They had a lot of news out recently since we talked about them in January. The headline from that one is Capstone reports additional high-grade intercepts at the Cozamin mine, and they go on that sub-headline, step-out drilling on the Malanoche footwall zone continues to encounter high grades. Hole U254 intercepts 5.2% copper and 180 grams per ton silver over 8.2 meters. Hole U251 intercepts 1.6% copper and 19 grams per ton of silver over 22.6 meters. They got plenty of information in the press release about those recent drill results. They're really looking good with those results at Cozamin. They talk about where it is in location to the work that they're currently mining, and this is a good indication for future exploration as well, and to add future production material. So they've got to do more work, but it's looking very good so far. We're then going to move back to the news release section, and we're looking for the March 14th. On March 14th, they actually had two press releases out. One of them, Capstone completes pre-feasibility study on Phase 5 expansion of the Minto copper gold mine. Subheadline, study extends mine life to 2020 with yearly average copper production of 43 million pounds and an average cash cost of $1.34 per pound of payable copper. So then again, I got another press release with a great deal of information about this pre-feasibility study. Lots of really good information in there. You can find that on their website in the news release section. Then on March the 14th, the company announced record revenue and strong earnings for 2010. Gross sales revenue of $301 million, net earnings of $72.6 million or 36 cents per share. All of those amounts are in US dollars unless otherwise specified. Then they give you all the details about the earnings and revenue for 2010 in the press release. Again, you can find that on their website. And then on April the 14th, the headline from that one is Capstone reports high-grade intercepts at Cozamin mine in step-out and infill drilling. Then they had a bunch of highlights. One of the holes, for example, U256 had 8.5% copper and 75 grams per ton silver over 4.4 meters. Hole 259 intersected 5% copper and 59 grams of silver over 5.7 meters. Hole 255 intercepted 4.5% copper and 75 grams per ton silver over 2.1 meters. again, plenty of information with tables about the press releases. All the key information can be found on the press release on the company's website. Oh, that was a lot of news to talk about. Just goes to show you, this is why we like this company is they're a copper-focused company. They've got 2 mines currently in operation. As you can tell from the headlines from their recent press releases, their mines are hitting on all cylinders. They've got one that's an advanced project in their Cucho project that looks like it has the potential of being a future mine. Another great thing about the projects, the current mines, Cozamin and Minto, is that they also have a lot of exploration potential. And this company is very aggressive with the exploration drilling. And this is why, for example, that we talked about them on January 21st, and since then they've had 6 or 7 press releases out, all with really key information about the work that they're doing. And so. Well-financed company, growing earnings, sitting on a mountain of cash, got good production coming. They got good pipeline from exploration, advanced stage moving towards mining, and then mining operations. There's a lot of good things to say about Capstone Mining. If you check out their website at capstonemining.com, that's capstonemining.com. You'll find a lot of information about their various different projects, and I think it'll quickly become quite clear of why we like Capstone so much and have followed them for a few years now and expect to be following them for a long time into the future. And so that's a wrap on the chat regarding Capstone. The third company was going to be really brief, this third one, because they're the takeover company, the company that was taken over that we mentioned earlier. The company is Frontier Gold. The disclosure, we're not shareholders. We never were shareholders of Frontier. They're no longer trading, so that's kind of a moot point at this time. Past coverage, we started talking about them on our radio show a few years ago, back in 2008. We talked about them a bunch of times. On this show, we started talking about them on August the 12th, 2011. Again, just look above me at the shows section, and you can go back and look at all the times we talked about Frontier Gold in there. Again, we talked about them a bunch of times on past shows. The most recent time was on February 3rd, 2011. And since then, they had the press release out about the takeover, and we're just going to bring that up now and talk about that. They don't have a website anymore. I tried to check it out earlier today, and it was forwarded to Newmont, which is the company that bought them out. So the details on that press release from April the 6th, on April the 6th, the headline was Frontier announces completion of acquisition by Newmont. They go on that Newmont has completed the acquisition of Frontier Gold pursuant to a court-approved plan of arrangement. Under the arrangement, shareholders of Frontier Gold receive $14 in cash and 0.25 of a common share of a new company, Pilot Gold, which was called Pilot Gold. For each common, after 1-for-4 share consolidation of Pilot Gold, for each common share of Frontier Gold, Pilot Gold owns certain exploration assets formerly owned by Frontier Gold. Following completion of the arrangement, former Frontier Gold security holders hold approximately 80.1% of the outstanding shares of Pilot Gold on a fully diluted basis, and the remaining 19.9% of Pilot Gold shares are held indirectly by Newmont. Sorry about that. So, we followed Frontier for a long time. In fact, Frontier took over one of the companies that was a featured company in our reports, AUEX Ventures. And so AUEX, that what was exciting about that was it was a trend that we're starting to see where some of the smaller mining companies, Frontier by no stretch they were a big junior, but they were a junior. They took over another junior. consolidated the company, kept on doing some work on that, and fairly quickly after the takeover of AUEX by Frontier, Frontier itself was taken over by a major mining company. And this is a good lesson to be learned. It tells you a lot about the major mining companies have to always be looking at the junior market, because majors are not very good at finding new mines. Generally, they use a checkbook instead of a drill rig to find their new mines, or improve their reserves and pipeline for future production. And so, they took a move. Newmont made a move and took over Frontier, and again, it's a good indication of the need of majors to always be looking at the smaller companies for acquisitions to improve their pipeline. And with Frontier's key projects in Nevada, that looks to be what's going to happen. And so that's a wrap on our chat regarding Frontier and our In the News section. Before closing, we'd like to stress that this show and our reports are for information purposes only. We aren't making buying or selling recommendations. The show is for information purposes only. It's important for you to do your own research and speak with your financial advisors before making any investment decisions. We're always trying to grow our audience, and any efforts you make to help us by letting your friends know about our website, our shows, our reports would be greatly appreciated. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we also really appreciate you, the viewers, for taking the time to tune in and watch the shows. You're really important in us being able to do this, so we thank you for tuning in. Our next show, we're tentatively scheduled to do a show tomorrow, which is Friday, April the 15th. And we'll be doing another In the News show, talk about some trends, some commentary early, then talk about some companies that have recently made some news. We hope you can join us for our next show. You can find all of our work on our website at allenberryreports.com. We'll see you soon, and have a great day.